Hello students, this is the class for State Board Physics. We are discussing in the second chapter current electricity. In this class we are going to see the topic energy and power in a particular circuit. Already we discussed about if you are connected a battery in a particular circuit, or across a particular conducting material, the current is established. Now we are considering a simple circuit. Now we are connected a power supply with any one of the conducting material or any of the material like this. If you are set the potential difference V across the particular material, the current is established. That means some amount of current passing through the circuit. Already we discussed on the topic in the previous classes. Now we are going to calculate the energy and power in a particular circuit. How much amount of this energy is transferred from the battery and how much amount of energy is getting the conducting material from the power supply. So that topic we are going to discuss. Okay. Now here we are connecting a battery. This is the one card posting. This is the battery. Battery is a source of electron. This is the question. Battery. This is a source of electron. No. Battery is not a source of electron. Battery does not supply the number of electron. It just supply the energy to the charges. It just supply the energy to the charges. Okay. So it is not a source of electron. It supply the energy. Now we consider a circuit. We consider a circuit. Single battery and I am connecting one resistor. R is the resistance of the resistor and the battery is supply the potential difference V. Now I consider the 4 points A, here B and here C and in this point D. So I selected 2 points across the battery and I selected one more 2 points across the resistor. If you consider the TQ amount of charges flows through the battery from the point A to B. TQ amount of charges flows through the battery from the point A to B, and after that amount of charges flows through the resistor in between the point C and D. TQ amount of charges flows through the battery from A to B, and after that it is passing through the resistor from the point C to D. Next, that charges has reached the point D. It is reached the point A. So this is the complete process. Now we are going to calculate the amount of energy transferred from the power supply to the charges and how much amount of energy getting the resistor from the charges. Okay, now we are consider PQ is the amount of electrical potential energy, that much amount of energy carried by the electron, carried by the charges from the power supply. So this is the equation for energy, V multiplied with TQ. This is the formula to calculating the energy supplied from the power supply or energy carried out by the charged particle. So that much amount of energy carried by the charges and it is flows through the point in between the resistor C and T. So in this point we have fixed the resistor. If you are connecting the conducting material or any of the material, the energy is taken from the charges, it is released in that particular material. So if it is taken dq amount of charges from the battery, that much amount of the same amount of charges it is taken by the conducting material. So once again it reaches the point A. So the process is repeated continuously moving until we are removing the power supply. Without removing the power supply, the process is a continuous one. So this is the formula to calculate the energy. dq is equal to du is equal to V into dq. V is the potential difference and dq is the amount of charges. Okay, so this is the formula for energy. So energy is nothing but the product of potential difference and the charges. The rate at which the charges it loses the particular amount of energy, it is carried out across the resistor. That means how much amount of charges, how much amount of energy is taken from the charges, that much amount of energy is carried out by the resistor. So this is the formula. A numerical question also we are going to use this formula. du is equal to V into dq. Okay. Now next we are going to calculate the power. Power, it is denoted by the letter P. Power is equal to du divided by dt. Sometimes we are using this notation like this, dw divided by dt. So this is nothing but, what is this? This is the potential energy. This is the potential energy, electrical potential energy. So electrical potential energy divided by time taken. The ratio between the electrical potential energy and the time taken, it is called as a power. Power is defined as a rate of amount of energy, or it is a rate. Power is defined as the rate at which the electrical energy is delivered. So the power is defined as the rate at which the electrical energy is delivered from the power supply. This is a statement for electrical power. Okay, so P is equal to dw by dt, or we can write du divided by dt. We know the value for tu. Tu is equal to V into dq. We are going to apply this tu value into this formula. We are getting power formula. So that power P is equal to tu value. What is tu value? V into dq divided by dt. Already in the beginning of this lesson, we are studying the equation for electric current. That current is equal to I is equal to dq divided by dt. It is the amount of current passing through the circuit. V is the potential difference across the conducting material. So we replace the tan dq by dt by the symbol I. So this is nothing but the product of potential difference and the electric current. So power is nothing but it is the product of potential difference and the electric current, V into I. Next we are going to discuss the unit for electrical energy and unit for electrical power. For power, we get the formula P is equal to VI. So we can write the unit using this formula. For potential difference, we have the unit volts. For current, we have the unit for ampere. So simply we can write the unit is volts, ampere. This is the one of the unit. Not this one is a SI unit. the SI unit of power is nothing but it is watts. Watt is the SI unit for electrical power. P unit is watts. But in commercially we are using the electrical bulb. In our house we are using the electrical bulb. All the electrical devices are the electrical bulb. It is mentioned power with the potential value also. If you are selecting any one of the bulb inside the bulb it is mentioned 5 watts to 20 volts. Or some of the bulb it is mentioned 15 watt to 20 volt or 40 watt to 20 volts. So along with the potential value they have mentioned the power value also. This is the power of the devices. This one is a potential. Okay, what purpose we are using this potential? Sometimes our bulb or electrical appliances it is getting fused. Why? What is the reason why the electrical device is getting fused? So this is the one of the hard question or reasoning question. Okay, now we are going to solve this question. If you are using any one of the bulb, now I am selecting this is the electrical bulb. In the bulb we have mentioned 5 watt power and 220 volts. Now using this simple circuit, here we are using the bulb and it is connected across the power supply. So in this bulb we are choosing 5 watt power and 220 volts. Okay, now this bulb is getting fused. Now we are going to see the reason why it is getting fused. If the potential difference across the bulb is greater than 220 volts, it is greater than 220 volt. In our bulb, the value is mentioned 220 volt. If you are measuring the potential difference across the bulb, if it is greater than the 220 volt, definitely the bulb it gets fused. Why? Because the bulb is working up to the level of 220 volts. After that, the energy, the potential difference in between across the bulb, it is greater means the circuit it will be fused. That means the bulb it gets fused. So that is the reason. If they are mentioned the 220 volt, apart from the particular volt greater than the 220 volt, definitely all the electrical appliances it get fused. So that purpose only they are mentioned the potential difference value along with the power value also. So that's the reason. What is the SI unit of power? SI unit of power is a watt. Now we are going to mention the unit for energy. The unit of power is a watt. Now we are going to calculate the unit for energy. We know the formula for power. Power is nothing but it is the energy divided by time. Energy divided by time. Now you are going to calculate the formula and the unit for the energy. You rearrange the formula like this. Energy is equal to the product of power and time. The product of power and time. So the unit for power is watt and the unit SI unit of time is second. So the unit for power is watt. The unit for SI unit for time is second. So the unit for energy, it is one of the units. Unit for energy watt second. Watt second. Or in generally we are using the unit for energy. It is nothing but joule. Joule is a unit for energy. Now we are getting one more unit. Another one alternative unit for energy is watt second. But in our commercial purpose, we are using the unit of energy in terms of kWh. What is meant by kWh? Kilowatt hour. Kilowatt hour. Kilo means 10 power 3. So watt hour. Now you are going to calculate the value of 1 kilowatt hour. Value of 1 kilowatt hour. 1 kilowatt hour is equal to the value per kilo. It is nothing but 10 power 3. That means it is 1,000. So kilowatt. 1 kilowatt is nothing but 1,000 watts, and it is multiplied by 1 hour. 1 hour is 60 minutes and 60 seconds. So now we are getting the SI unit of time second. So you multiply all this value 1000, 36 to 0, and this is a watt second. So you multiply all the value. Finally you are getting 3.6 into 10 power 6 watt second. This is the value, equivalent value for 1 kilowatt hour. So 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 3.6 into 10 power 6 watt second. So this kilowatt hour, mostly we are using the unit for energy. The SI unit of energy is joule, and we have another alternative unit kilowatt hour, and another one is watt second. What is the unit for power? SI unit of power is watt. SI unit of power is watt, and using the formula P is equal to VA, we are getting the one more unit. This is nothing but volts into ampere. Volt ampere. And alternative another one unit for power. Using this formula, power formula P is equal to energy divided by time. For energy we have the unit is joule, and for time we have the unit is second. So we have one more unit for power. It's nothing but joule second power minus 1. Joule second power minus 1. So these are the some terms, some unit for power and some unit for energy. Okay, if you are changing the alternative formula for the power and energy, we are getting more units. So the basic SI unit for power is watt, and most of the time, sometimes we are using the unit joule second power minus 1, and the SI unit for electrical energy is nothing but it is joule, and alternative unit we can use watts again, but commercially we are using the unit for electrical energy is kilowatt hour. 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 3.6 into 10 power 6 watt second. Okay. And this value we can write as, this is nothing but this is a joule. 3.6 into 10 power 6 joule. So now I recall the topic of energy and power. If you are connected a battery across the resistor, some amount of energy it will be lost by the battery. That much amount of energy is carried by the charges, and if it is passing through the resistor, the charge particle it lost the carried energy, and that energy is gained by the resistor. So Tu is the amount of electrical potential energy. It is developed when the battery it lost that much amount of chemical energy. So battery lost some amount of chemical energy. It is converted into the form of electrical energy. It is carried by the charge particle, and that charge particle carried energy it given to the resistor or any of the conducting material. The process is repeated until we are removing the power supply. Right? Now we are going to see the alternative formula for the power, and we know the formula for power P is equal to VI. P is equal to VI. What is Ohm's law? We have the formula for Ohm's law. V is equal to IR. Now we are going to apply this V value into this formula. We can get the alternative formula for power for V, I, R, and I already we have I. So the formula is I square R. This is the another one formula for power P is equal to I square R. If you are changing the formula like this, I is equal to V by R. We can apply this I value also into the formula. We are getting one more equation for power P is equal to VI on V. For I we can replace the term V by R. So this is nothing but V square by R. So for the power we can write the formula P is equal to VI or P is equal to I square R or P is equal to V square by R. Okay. So we have three formulas with respect to the given data. Correspondingly, we are going to apply this formula on your numerical problem. P is equal to Vi, P is equal to I square R, and P is equal to V square by R. Okay. Now we are going to relate the power with respect to the current. P is equal to I square R. R is the resistance of the particular material. If you are selecting any one of the material, that R value is a constant one. So the power for the particular material, power is directly proportional to the square of the current. Power is directly proportional to the square of the current. And using this formula, power is directly proportional to square of the potential difference developed across the conducting material, and power is inversely proportional to the resistance. If you consider the two resistors, one is having higher resistance, another one is having a lower resistance, mean R1 is greater than R2. If you are going to calculate the power, it is inversely proportional. Power and resistor is inversely proportional. So if R1 is greater than R2 means that P1 is less than P2. Power across power in the resistor 1 and power in the resistor 2. This is the relation. P1 is less than the P2. So that is the comparison between power and current, potential difference and the resistance. Using this formula, we are going to solve the problem. They are given your textbook, they are given some of the example problem. So in this class, we are going to see very few problems. Then first one is see the problem. Example 2.15. A battery of voltage V is connected to the 30 watt bulb and 60 watt bulb as shown in the figure. Identify the brightest bulb, and second one, which bulb has greater resistance, and third one, suppose the two bulbs are connected in series, which bulb will glow brighter. So you are going to calculate the three values for the single problem. So for our problem, the diagram is, this is a supply V. Now we are connected to bulb. So one is a 60 watt bulb and another one is a 30 watt bulb. The two bulbs are connected across the supply V. If any two material is connected across the supply, the potential difference across the two is the same. So from the given question, we understand one thing: the potential difference across the two bulbs is the same. Now we are going to calculate the first case A, which bulb glows brighter. Which one is the brighter? So we know the formula for power P is equal to VI. P is equal to VI, and here it is connected in parallel combination with the power supply. So V is a constant one. It is the same quantity. So definitely the power is directly proportional to I. V is directly proportional to I, or we can write in reverse order also. I is directly proportional to P. Here we have the power value for the two bulb. One is 30 watt and another one is 60 watt. So if the greater the current value is also greater because the two things are directly proportional. If power is greater means definitely the current is also greater, or if the current is greater means the power is also greater. The two factors are directly proportional. So which bulb having the greater power, that through the bulb high current is passing through it. So I is greater, P is greater. So definitely which bulb having the higher power value, that glows very brighter compared with the another one. So this is the answer for the first one. In the first case you are going to calculate which bulb glows brighter. So in this problem the 60 watt bulb glows very brighter compared with the 30 watt bulb. Okay. And next we are going to calculate on the B part. We want to calculate which having greater resistance. In this two bulb, which having a greater resistance. And for power, we have the formula VI. If you are applying the Ohm's law into the formula, we are replacing the I, current value. Now the equation becomes V square by R. Already we derived the equation. So P is equal to V square by R. So in this question, the bulb is across parallel to the power supply. So V is a constant. So the power is inversely proportional to the resistance of the bulb. P is inversely proportional to the resistance of the bulb. So now you are going to calculate which resistance is greater. And inversely proportional. So if the power is greater means resistance is lesser. Power is greater means resistance is lesser. For bulb 1 we consider like this. For bulb 2 we consider like this. Okay. So we can write in reverse order. R1 is directly proportional to 1 by V1. R2 is directly proportional to 1 by V2. So lesser power, greater resistance. So lesser power bulb is 30 watt. So that bulb having greater resistance. So lesser power, greater resistance, lesser power. So 30 watt bulb will have the higher resistance compared with the 60 watt bulb. So now we solved two cases. First one is which is glows very brighter, and second one is which bulb having greater resistance. And now third one, if you are connected these two bulb in a series combination, that two bulb connected in a series combination, what will happen? Okay, that's we are going to calculate. So for the third part, we can draw the diagram like this. The two bulbs connected in series with respect to the power supply. So V is the potential difference supplied by the power supply. So we are choosing this one is 60 watt and this one is a 30 watt bulb connected in series. If the two things are connected in series, the current passing through the two material is the same. I is the same. So that I amount of current is passing through the bulb 1 and it is the same for the bulb 2 also, because these two things are in a series combination. Now we are going to calculate which bulb is glows very brighter. Now we can use the formula here. V is equal to Vi. So in this case V is a different quantity, I is a constant. So we can write like this: P is directly proportional to V. The power is directly proportional to the potential difference developed across the bulb. And we have the formula for Ohm's law. V is equal to IR. Here I is the same. So the potential difference V is directly proportional to R. So from that we can clear one thing. If the resistance of the particular bulb is greater, the greater potential difference developed across it. If the potential difference developed developing potential is greater means the power is also greater, so that bulb glows very brighter. So in this two, out of this two, which is having a greater resistance, this is a 30-watt bulb. It has greater resistance because we have the relation between power and resistance, which is having a lesser power than bulb having a greater resistance, inversely proportional. So lesser power, greater resistance bulb developed more potential across it, so it plays a higher power, so it glows very brighter. So from the two cases in parallel and series combination, we can conclude one thing, that is the bulb glows brighter or very dimmer. It is not depending upon the power value. It is not depending upon the power value. It is depending upon only which is a parallel combination or series combination. It is depending upon the connection only. It is not depending upon only the value of the power. In a parallel combination, 60-watt bulb glows very brighter. In a series combination, we are getting the result 30-watt bulb glows very brighter. So it is depending upon the connection only, not depending upon the power value. So that is the final result or conclusion in this question. Now we are going to see the next second problem. See the next example problem 2.16. Two electric bulbs marked 20 watt 220 volt and 100 watt 220 volt are connected in series to 440 watt supply. Which bulb will be fused? So in this question, the two bulbs are connected in series. We are choosing the two bulbs. The two bulbs are connected in series. One is 20 watt and another one is 100 watt. The supply voltage is 440 volts. One is 20 watt and another one is 100 watt. In both the bulb, they are marked 220 volts. In the theory part, already we discussed, if the 220 volt marked in a particular device means when you are going to measure the potential difference across the particular device, if it is greater than the marked potential difference, if the potential difference across the device is greater than the marked value, definitely the device gets fused. So that's things we are going to calculate. Which bulb is fused when it is connected in the 440 volts power supply. One is a 20 watt power and another one is a 100 watt power. First of all, we are going to calculate the resistance of the bulb 1 and bulb 2. Now we are consider this is 1 and this is a 2. We have the formula for power. P is equal to V square divided by R. We know the value of power, we know the value of voltage. Now easily we can calculate the R value. Now we are choosing. Okay, so from that case, R1 is equal to V square divided by P. What is P? 220. So 220 the whole square divided by the power value is 20. So the P1, the R1 value is equal to 220 divided by 20. So 0 we can cancel 2. This one is 11. So we are multiplying with these 2. 220 multiplied with 11. 240 to 0, and this is the resistance. So the unit is ohm. 2420 ohm. So this is the resistance of the bulb 1. And we have a second bulb the power value is 100 watt. The power value is 100 watt. So we are applying the formula, same formula. R1 is equal to V square divided by V2. V square value is same, 220 into 220 divided by the power value is 100. So 0 0 getting cancelled. So here we have 22 multiplied with 22. So 484 ohm. So R2 value is 484 and R1 value is 2420 ohm. So now we calculated the resistance of the first bulb and resistance of the second bulb. Next we are going to calculate how much amount of current is passing through the circuit. I is the same for the bulb 1 and bulb 2. Now we are going to calculate the I value using the Ohm's law. V is equal to IR. We know the value for I. So rearrange the formula. I is equal to V divided by R. What is V? V is 440 volts. So 440 divided by resistance. It is a net resistance. The two bulbs are connected in series. So we are going to add these two values. 2420 plus 484. 2420 plus 484. You add these two values. So 440 divided by 4, 0, 9 and 2. Okay. So if you are dividing these two values, you are getting the answer approximately equal to 0.15 ampere. So this much amount of current is flows through the circuit. That amount of current is the same in the bulb 1 and in the bulb 2. So same amount of current is passing through the two bulb. So we already calculated R1 and R2 value. Now we calculate the current passing through the circuit. Using these three value, we are going to calculate which bulb gets fused. So separately, we are going to calculate the potential difference across the bulb 1, potential difference across the bulb 2. If it is exceed the 220 volt, definitely it is gets fused. Okay, that means we are going to calculate this. I write the value of the resistance here, 2420 ohm, and R2 is 484 ohm, and the current value is approximately equal to 0.15 ampere. So if you want to calculate the voltage across the first bulb, V1 is equal to I is the same, so IR1. And for V2 is equal to IR2. You apply the value. The current value is 0.15 and R1, what is R1? R1 value 2420. 2420. And for here 0.15 multiplied with the R2 value 484. So finally, we have calculated the value V1 and V2. This value is approximately equal to, if you multiply this value is approximately equal to 367 volts. This value is approximately equal to 73 volts. Now, we are getting the voltage across the first bulb, 20 watt bulb, voltage across 367 volt, and voltage across the second bulb is 73 volt only. So compare these two. This value is exceed for the marked value. They are marked in the bulb only 220 volt, but voltage across the first bulb, that means 20 watt bulb is 367 volt. So definitely that first bulb it gets fused. That's the answer for this question. Now we are going to solve one more problem. The question is, if the resistance of coil is 3 ohm at 20 degrees Celsius and alpha value is 0.04 per degree Celsius, then determine its resistance at 100 degrees Celsius. So this is the question. We are going to calculate the resistance of the particular coil at 100 degrees Celsius. For this question, the given data are resistance of the coil at 20 degrees Celsius is 3 ohm and alpha is the temperature coefficient of resistivity is equal to 0.004 per degree Celsius. Now we are going to calculate resistance of the particular coil at 100 degrees Celsius. So the temperature value 100 degrees Celsius. Temperature, so using the capital T is equal to 100 degrees Celsius. So for this case, RT is equal to R naught 1 plus alpha T minus T naught. Because the value T is 100 degrees Celsius, the T naught value is 20 degrees Celsius. Apply all the values. R naught value 3, 1 plus alpha value 0.004, T minus T naught, 100 minus 20, that value is 80. So this one is 3, 1 plus, you are multiplying this 2, you are getting 8 4s are 32. So the value for that is 0.320. So 3, 1.32. You multiply it. So the RT value is 3.96 ohm. The RT value is 3.96 ohm. This is the answer for this question. If the resistance of the coil at 20 degrees Celsius is 3 ohm means if you raise the temperature to 100 degrees Celsius, the resistance of the material is also increased. The final value is 3.96. So the increasing resistance is RT minus R naught is equal to 0.96 ohm. That much amount of resistance increases when you are increasing the temperature up to 100 degrees Celsius. So definitely this coil is a conducting material, because you know the concept, if the temperature rises automatically the resistance of the conducting material increases. Here we are getting an increased value, greater value from the initial case. So we are using in this case that coil is a conducting material. Right, we will see the next topic in our next class. Thank you.